Hey guys, sorry. I'm a bit late today. Nap time ran a bit late. Oh, had my earrings in and then I took them out for whilst I was putting Jasmine down. So I'm just going to put them back in for you guys whilst... oh, and I haven't got that other light on. Just bear with me. Makes a bit of difference when I've got the light on, doesn't it? Oh, are we wonky? Are we wonky? A little bit. Morning all, morning guys. Good afternoon, good morning. This is the Libby top, guys. Oh, hi guys. Oh, I cannot get my earring in. It's like doing something really strange. I got these in India when I was in India early in the year, and they're silver and I love them, but they're really heavy. Oi, we're getting there, we're getting there. Are we getting there? Am I going to be a pirate and just have one earring in? Yeah, it's probably going to fall out, isn't it? Hi guys. I think it's in. Whew. So yes, I'm wearing the Libby top, guys. This is what I was thinking for another pyjama set. So, you know, we were talking about, excuse me. You know, we were talking about like another pair that I wanted to make. So obviously we've got our pyjama bottoms that we've made, and unfortunately I still have not got the elastic, so I can't finish these off with you guys. But yes, so I want to make a version with these bottoms and then this as the pyjama top. I think that would work really well, wouldn't it? I mean, and I could always, so it's about that length, but you could always lengthen it. But I think for summer pyjamas, it's probably a nice length. So if I make them, I have no idea when I will, but if I make them, I will share them with you. So guys, we've got the challenging part of these. Secret PJs, yeah, exactly. So I have done literally nothing. I had the craziest day yesterday. I finished filming and straight away went into going back and doing orders, and I've now done pretty much, I'm up to date with my orders. I've got to send another load out today. So if you guys have been waiting for orders patiently, they all went to the post office yesterday, and you will have seen that I completed them, so you should have got a confirmation of that. And I've now just been doing this morning the orders from, I think I was printing them off from the weekend, and I should be sending those to the post office today as well. But yeah, just a little, Alex is here. Hello, Alex. Just a little heads up from the Sew Over It team. We are trying our hardest to get back to all of your emails, but there are so many emails at the moment, lots of emails from customers. So just so you know, we're trying to get back to you on emails, but yeah, there are a lot, so we might be slower than usual. And if you can, if you can reduce your emails so it's just to one, or if you think you know, you could wait a couple of days before an order might arrive, that would greatly be appreciated by the Sew Over It team, who are very busy, basically Rosie and Alex, answering your queries. So last session of the pyjamas today. So there's another 2 sessions up online. So we did the trousers and we did the start of the Alderley top. This is where we've got to. And so what we're going to be doing today is the bias binding, and we'll just do as much as we can together. Now, I haven't made this since I filmed the Stitch School video on it. And if you're a member of Stitch School, there's a lot more detail in how I do this. Yes, it is the Libby top. And so, yes, I'm obviously doing the best that I can do on this live. But if you want to have more, then you can look at it on the Stitch School. And there's basically, with Stitch School, there's basically, for the £5 subscription, which you only need to sign up for a month at the moment rather than 3 months, you will get this pattern, access this pattern for free, and you'll also access all my greater details of how I make this, or how we make this, and better close-ups and stuff. So that's for the Stitch School. But if you want to just get the pattern, you can buy the pattern for both the pyjamas and the Alderley top on our website. And thank you to all of those of you who donated yesterday. We really appreciated it. Oh, thank you, Caroline, for giving us a shout out on the Stitch School. Loving that people are into the Stitch School, that's great. I'm glad. I think it's a really good resource to have at the moment. So yes, thank you for your donations. If you want to donate at the end of this video, the link is in the comments box below. It's you can buy us a coffee and help support a small business. Right. Before I've done that, I'm just going to, so before I take this one off, there aren't any notches on the smaller binding pieces, which are for the armhole, but on the longer one, there are. So I'm making a size 8, so I'm just going to snip into there and snip into there, making sure you don't put your snips too long, and then snip into this one and snip into this one. So what I was saying before I went off on one of my many tangents is that I haven't made this since then, and I filmed that. Oh, hi Coco. Coco might be coming to say hello. So I haven't filmed it since made it since then, since I filmed that, and so I can't actually remember. So I will be referring potentially to the instructions that I've got on my work phone here. Ooh. I can remember like how to do the armhole, but just not the rest. Oh, here she comes. Hi, Coco. Show people your face, not your bottom. Look, this way, Coco. That's her bell. She has a bell now. Tinkle, tinkle. Coco. Coco. Sometimes I make a poor hello. Hi, darling. Hi. Oh, yeah. Still the funniest was when I was one of the first ones, was at the Audrey, and she basically just put her, just sat there and I didn't even notice, and then I suddenly looked up and there she was, like, that's got to be a highlight of these sew-alongs. Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to start with quite a bit of ironing because we've got to, I'm going to see if I can do it sitting down. Let's see if I can create a little protective thing for Mum and Dad's table, like so-ish, and then bring it on there, and then I can do it without standing up, which is great. I'll just have to take these out. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating the bias strips. So we're going to fold it in to wrong sides together lengthways. Okay, so we'll do that one. And then we are going to open it up. It's definitely darker today, isn't it? I don't know why. Whoops. We're going to open it up. So we've got that crease line in the middle. And then we're going to fold in a raw edge to the central crease. And then turn it and do the same on the other side. So this is how you make bias binding from the fabric that you're making your garment out of. You cut the strips on the bias and then you fold them into shape with the iron. And then, let's just show you that next stage. It's like that. And then we're going to fold line to fold line. Oopsies. It's really hot, I'm burning my fingers. Not ideal. Should have done these before, shouldn't I? I should have done like, and here's one I've done earlier. Never mind. Okay, so we can chat about other things as I'm making those. So update on the fabrics, guys. So unfortunately the fabrics haven't yet arrived. The cottons that I've ordered for extra cottons that you could, cotton lawns that you could make up the PJs in. So they look like they'll arrive at some point today. Ooh, a DPD van's just gone past. Maybe that was them. But yeah, so I can't put them up though online. If they have come today, I'll do a shout out today on Instagram. But if I can't do it today, then it won't be tomorrow, because tomorrow is the public release, the general release of our PDF pattern for the month. So I don't want to kind of confuse what we'll be talking about already on there. So I'll talk about it on Friday. So either talk about them today or Friday. But there were also a couple I've put in there I chose for the Eve dress as well. So if you haven't yet got fabric for that, there'll also be some Eve options. And to be honest, you can make the Eve in a cotton lawn. One of the first samples we made was a cotton lawn. So you can easily do that. Ouch. And, oh! So that's the Eve. And then also stretch cottons. I have managed to order more stretch cottons. They should be arriving tomorrow. And I ordered more of the lemons, and I ordered more of the blue and white one with the blue leaves. I think we call it royal leaves. And I ordered more of the black. So I'll also put that up when it arrives tomorrow. But I won't shout about it on Instagram tomorrow. I'll probably mention it on Friday. But just letting you know, you might want to keep an eye on the site tomorrow if you were very keen to get that. But it probably won't be till the end of the day. If the delivery comes at some point that day, I've got to make sure I've got it before I put them up. So that's the update on the fabric. We've also finished, we also just finalised today on our virtual daily meeting what we were going to do for the other weeks. Alex, did we decide on the week? I don't think we decided on the week after the Pussy Bow blouse, did we? But we did decide on the projects the week of the Pussy Bow blouse. So the Pussy Bow blouse, I'm going to be doing finger puppets for my kids sewing on Monday morning. And I am going to be doing the pansy dress, which is one of the Poppy and Jazz patterns. Let's see if I've got it. Yes. This pattern for my easy project on the Monday at 2. And then we'll do the Pussy Bow blouse together on the Tuesday and Wednesday. Hope that makes sense. But yes. Alex, did you answer? Sorry, did we decide what we're doing for the week afterwards? We. Not sure. We did, we didn't. Oops. We're doing juniper. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Alex, we're not doing it. That's right. I first said pansy, and then we were like, actually, it'd be nice to do something that isn't jersey. So cancel that, guys. We are doing... At least Alex is awake today. I don't have the juniper, but it's a little skirt. That is what we're doing. The full schedule will be up on the site and also in the comments below. Right, we're now going to attach this. So we've got our... Oh no, I haven't finished doing that one. Okay, I need to focus on what I'm doing because clearly I'm not awake. I actually slept an insane amount last night. I was so exhausted. When I put Jasmine down, I just decided to go to bed as well. So I've slept for about 10 hours. Juniper! Alex is putting up the juniper. Yay! Now, Alex, had we just... I think I'd said, oh, it'd be nice to do the ultimate culottes. I think I'd said that. Or the Lizzie skirt. We could do that. Basically, because we're doing the Eve dress and then the Pussy Bow blouse, I kind of wanted to do something slightly simpler. So the culottes are nice and simple. And even though they're trousers, but they're easier to fit than the ultimate trousers in a way because they're looser fitting. Did we say, yeah, ultimate culottes? We did say that. Okay, not the Lizzie. We could always do the Lizzie the week after. Because I think the ultimate culottes would be nice and... Oh, ultimate culottes, okay. I feel like you probably get more, you'll learn more from that. So we'll do the ultimate culottes. I've got just the fabric, so I'm very happy about that. I don't actually have any culottes left. So I'd love to make a couple of pairs. Oh, look. Alex is putting a link up if anyone wants to have a look at what they look like. But yeah, they're perfect for this time of year. And you can wear them with pumps, you can wear them with sandals, or you could wear them with like little trainers. They're very practical. Yay, everyone's saying yes to ultimate clots. That's what we're going to do, guys, then. We've decided. So what fabric that you need for the ultimate culottes is sort of a heavier crepe fabric, ideally. Something that doesn't crease too much. I'll see if I can get hold of some of our triple crepe that we made some up in, because that's really, that we've made a lot of our samples in. In fact, the navy samples on the site of, if you look at that link that I'm wearing on that, those are triple crepe, and also the kind of purpley, lilac-y kind of lavender coloured ones are also triple crepe. So I'll see if I can get hold of some, and then you guys can get some of the right fabric for it. It's like most of this work is the pressing, isn't it? Oh, the table's getting a facial, steaming. I might be moving into a different room for future sew-alongs, not quite yet, but back into the barn room, because that was the whole point. That I think my mum's starting to get a bit annoyed that her living room is now been taken over by all this sewing stuff. So I'll see from it, or I can't quite yet. The only thing is what we do with Jazzy, because she's sleeping in there, but we might put her down for her nap in a different bedroom. Ooh, and then I can be in there and my mum can not lose her mind over mess. So usually I tidy up the moment I finish, but yesterday I was so busy I didn't. I think it might have pushed mum over the edge last night. Oof. You've got to be very thoughtful, don't you, at the moment with people you're living with, because everyone's got shorter fuses. So I'm going to try and be sensitive to things that are going to bug them. And I wasn't yesterday. So I'm going to tidy up today, Mum, I promise. She's not here. She's got on a walk. Oof. This cotton lawn, though, it does press really nicely, and it makes a big difference when you're having to make your own bias binding. You can get the bias binding tools to make bias strips, and they are quite cute. Cute. They're quite cute to use, the little sweet little pulley things, but also they are that's nice to see. But also, yeah, the little they do make it a bit easier. You just have to buy the width of that you want it to be finished. My job when I worked in couture for Bruce Oldfield, who's like an old school couture designer here in Knightsbridge in London. He used to design dresses that were with strips of zibeline, which is a type of silk, and very expensive. And they were bias strips, and then he basically had the seamstress stitch these strips onto massive big ball gowns. I mean, it looks stunning. They'd be on like tulle or something, and then these strips on them. And my job was to make the strips, and I became the queen of making bias strips. But yeah, I think as a result, I've sort of avoided them at all costs ever since. Right, I just want to check the direction, which one we put on first, because I can't remember if we put it on the wrong side first or on the right side. Take what they want to fold it with the right side of the binding against the wrong side of the armhole. Good thing I checked. So we are going to open that out, and we are going to pop that onto the wrong side of the armhole of the top. Okay, and then just matching raw edge to raw edge. So we'll get a photo of me in this finished set once my elastic comes. I seem to have stretched my bias binding a little bit. That's very easy to do, or maybe it's slightly too long, I'm not sure, but look, it's extending off there. Doesn't matter though. So I'm going to do that one, and then I'll do the other one, and then I can sew them at the same time. So open it out, and then match up that point there. So I've got the end of the bias binding there along that edge, and then I've got the raw edge there lined up with the bias binding edge, and we're doing right side of bias binding to wrong side of top. Oh dear. So tomorrow, when I'm not doing a live, what I'm going to do with that time instead is I'm going to make some scrubs. And the oops, I'm going to record me making them, and we're going to get that up on the channel so that if anyone is making scrubs, there's some extra help on how to sew them up together. So yeah, watch this space. I said I said to myself I'd get it up for Friday, but we'll see. My aim today was to get all of my orders done so that I could focus on the scrubs for the next couple of days, and also make an Eve dress, so that I've got an Eve dress to wear at the Sewalong next week. Maybe even a Hebden. I don't know about that though. Right, okay, I'm going to trim that off. I don't need that there, and I'm going to trim that extra length off there as well. Right, sewy time. So what we're going to do is we are going to sew in that groove there, which is about 1 centimetre, I do believe, 3/8 of an inch. So where we've pressed in that first, if you're from the raw edge, the first groove you're getting to, that's going to be our stitch line. So we're just going to run along there. I'm using the middle of my presser foot and the little groove in that to sit on top of on the crease, so I know where I'm going. A bit of a curve here. Should be fine. Now the beauty of bias binding is that it works around a curve. So that's why we cut these strips on the bias, because then they can curve around a curve in the fabric. So the fabric is so much more malleable and flexible. I mean, I know that's saying strange words for fabric, but it explains the way that it behaves when it's on the bias. It stretches out, it shrinks back, it's all sorts. All sorts of wondrous things the bias does. It also can drive you mad because it's hard to sew. You can see there's lots of chatting going on, and I'm completely missing it. I feel a bit like, you know, when you're like with a group of friends and you're like, there's so many of you and you're at the end of the table, so you can't quite hear all the conversation, you just get snippets. That's how it feels at the moment. I'm kind of seeing something about bugs, and then I did see something about sewing and toys, and yeah. I think it's better that I'm focusing on this and not sewing my finger. Can you overstretch it? Yes, you can. Having never made bias binding, can you overstretch it? Yeah. When you're ironing it, you've got to be careful that you don't kind of keep it taut, make it taut at all. So it's very easy to stretch it. Look how stretchy that is. So when you're ironing it, try and just handle it delicately so that you're not putting the iron on and pulling the other end of the bias binding. I mean, what will happen is it will just get narrower. But if you're not careful, you'll have sections where it's narrow and sections where it's wide, and it won't be straight. Again, on Stitch School, I talk about it in more detail. Okay. So that's both of those stitched. So now what I'm going to do is trim that down, which is always scary because we don't want to trim it down. We don't want to catch the cami in any way. So what I'm going to do is just trim down the seam allowance to half of what it was. It makes it easier for us to then close the the other side of the binding over the seam. Still makes me nervous though. It's a bit like buttonholes. There's some things, aren't they, that just make with sewing that make you tense. Some people it's sleeves, some people it's zips. For me, it's buttonholes and bias binding. Always tense when I do them. Oh, someone in Iran. Oh, wow. I didn't see that. Oh, wonderful. United Sewing, where you all over the world, we've been united through sewing. That is just wonderful. That is what they need to be talking about on the news. Tonight is the sewing bee, guys, if you're in the UK, and sorry to be bragging about it if you're not. Tonight at 9 p.m. on BBC One, it's the sewing bee, and I will be live shortly after it finishes. I'm just going to make myself a cup of tea, I think. And we can chat about it. So awesome, you hope. Sorry, this fabric we had ages ago. And you can't get it anymore as far as I'm aware. It's the Libby top though, the Libby shirt. This is one of our patterns. So you can get the pattern. Okay. Dum-ba-dum. Right, so now we've done that, guys, we're going to close it over. So we're folding it over. Actually, no, I need to press it, don't I? I'm going to press it first. So now we're going to press the seam up towards the bias binding. Shortcutting, forgetting what I'm doing. Just to get that seam nice and flat from that side, but obviously be careful that you don't press out the central crease line. Da, 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 da. Okay, now I'm folding that back over. So it's much easier now. So what I'm doing, let me do a little bit and then I can show you. I'm essentially folding the bias binding back over the right side. Okay. And when you do it, you have to make that noise. And then I'm putting my pins in so that through all the layers of the binding. So what's important is that the folded edge that's open, so this folded edge that's being pinned down, it goes over the stitch line that we've just stitched. Okay, now I don't have an edge stitch foot on my, I don't think I bought one, I was looking for it the other day. Maybe it's that one, no. That looks like it could be one. Okay, Benina people. Is that the edge stitch foot for the Benina? Again, I had never used an edge stitch foot until the Sewrit team were talking about them, and they were like, Lisa, it will change your life. And so I've been using it at the ones at work when I use the Genomes, and I was like, oh my goodness, all this time. Yes, oh it is. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to use that with you guys. So I don't think I've used that before, so not on this machine anyway. But yeah, it's really important. If you're doing lots of top stitching, things like the Farah, you want to be using an edge stitch foot for that. Makes your life so much easier, and for like jeans and things like that. And for bias binding. Mm-hmm. 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 Nope. So what are people sewing today? I think people are sewing masks. I think someone was sewing some scrubs for their daughter. What else are people sewing today whilst I'm sewing this? Move your needle either side of the centre bar, depending on which side you're sewing. Okay. Oh, lovely. Okay. I'm nervous. On it goes. What's the worst that can happen? So they are now pinned, and I'll show you so you've got a nice close-up of how it's looking now. Okay. Oh, scrubs. Lots of people doing some scrubs. Someone doing a Lulu. Oh, guys, all these sewing, we are vintage rainbow colours, crocheting. Oh, someone else is working. Okay, right. Oh my goodness. I think I need to move the needle, don't I? That's exactly what you just said. So I'm going to move the needle to the position. So what's happening is there is a thing that's going down, this part here, and it's going down, and that's going on the edge. And then I'm moving my needle to sit a couple of millimeters from that edge. So what this foot should do, it should help me keep to the edge. And it's a bit like when you use a concealed zip foot, and you know how the teeth sit in the groove, and therefore it helps, well, it basically locks it down, so it makes it a lot easier to keep it in exactly the same position. It's a bit like that. Oh, it's looking really good. I'm very excited. Yes, move the needle to where you want the distance away from the edge. Thank you, Eliza. Thank goodness you were there. I probably would have worked it out, but I probably would have made a mistake first. Shows you though, I do most of my sewing at work. I don't really sew, or I haven't, this past year I haven't sewn that much at home, unfortunately. But I'm loving my Vanina, having her back. I got her, I got her serviced this year, and so she's so smooth. Oh, guys, look. Ah! Now that is not skill that has stitched that, that is the foot. So nice and neat. And then also on that side, it's neat. Oh, so wonderful when something like that works nicely, isn't it? Such a great sense of satisfaction. 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 But yeah, if any of you love a bit of hand sewing, you can hand sew this on, but what you would do is you stitch the first side of your binding the other way around, so you stitch it to the right side first, and then you encase it over onto the wrong side, and then you slip stitch it from there. So if you're a lover of hand sewing, that's what you want to do. I don't. But I do know of Satisfaction. I don't know her personally. How do I not have an edge stitch? I know, Maria. I know. Seriously, it's a life-changing thing. Like, I think it's like all of these things with sewing. So you're fine with the basic things you've got, and then you get a really good computerized machine, like, or your Benina, and you realize how wonderful it is. Then you get an overlocker, and you're like, how did I manage without an overlocker? Then you get like you get your concealed zip foot, your edge foot, and you're like, how did I manage without this? Yeah. And then you get a baby lock, right? Alex, you will have missed the baby lock chat, but we talked about cover lock machines the other day, and I said after this, maybe a treat to the Sew Over It team would be for us to get a baby lock or cover lock machine to have at work so we can all use it at lunchtimes. Be fighting over it. You'd have to have like a schedule, like you have to put your name down if you want to use it at lunch. Oh, that's so lovely. Equally nice. Right, now we are going to do the trickier bit now, which is this bit. I'm going to have to refer to, yeah, I think Nicole would be. Let's not tell her, Alex, and it'd be a really nice surprise because she's working so hard at the moment. Maybe it can be like a little surprise. Thank you for the ebook work. Ta-da! Okay. Right, so we've done that. I just want to check when we're putting this long thing on. Mark with pins where the shoulder straps start and finish on the long binding piece. Don't trim off any binding so that you can lengthen or shorten the straps if necessary. Yep. Starting at the centre front, pin the bias binding in place. Yep. Place the binding right side together. Okay. I think I know what I'm doing. Checking. Oh, I didn't mark the centre front. I was like, why have I don't recall the centre front. So let's just do that now. Because you do need that centre front notch in there. Tongue must come out. Okay. There we go. No, was that it? There we go. Already lost it. Okay, so we are going to put him onto the centre front edge there, and I can still see that fold line, that line there, so I've got that. So he's going onto there. So we're doing right side of binding to wrong side of cami or top, whatever you want to call it. And then we've got a notch that goes and lines up with the shoulder, the edge of the shoulder there. Or the armhole, not the shoulder really, isn't it? It's the top of the armhole. And then we need to do the same on there. So we're just attaching this to the front section. And the reason why we're doing it like this is so that you can then check that it fits. So you want to check the length of the straps, because you don't want to be sewing this up, oh no, and then it not fit. I need to line that one up, it's not working. So I'm going to have to try and fit it, aren't I, on me, because I don't want to go ahead and make this and then it not be right. I think that's meant to sit there. All right, Mr. Iron. Okay, so I've pinned the points there, and then I've pinned the centre front, and now I'm putting the rest of the pins in. Dun, 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 dun. Na 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 da 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 da. Who knew I hummed so much when I sewed? It's happiness, isn't it? I always hum when I'm happy. Okay. I'm going to stitch that, guys. So I'm going to stitch it in the same way. Oh, I need to take that foot off. In the same way that I stitched the armhole ones, we're going to stitch in the groove, that first kind of crease line that we created with the iron when we were making our bias binding. So from the edge of the bias binding, that's where we're going. We're starting where that notch is on the underarm, the top of the underarm, the armhole. So I've got my groove on my presser foot sitting on top of my crease line. Okay, so I do believe what we need to do now is pin the other side on so we can try it on. I have got a vest on today, so I could take my Libby off and just try it on. But why have I not got a notch there? I definitely put one in. Why is he not appearing? He's there, he's on that side. I obviously just missed him on that side. Oh well. So that notch is meant to go in the same position on the back. So let's pop him there. Let's pin that like that. And I'll just quickly snip in the notch here because I can see it's not cut on the paper. I'm a bit lounge singer and croaky today, aren't I? A bit croaky. Doesn't really matter if you're getting it right side, wrong side, or whatever. The main thing is we're just checking on the length, aren't we? Okay. So, guys, don't be alarmed. I'm going to take this top off, but I have got a vest on. I'm just going to check that it's such a decent height. Oof. Okay. I tell you, the girls in the shop, when I'm trying toiles and things on, there's, the Paul bus stop opposite is often seen more than they should have. Oh, me walking around the shop in tights. Oh, it's a wee bit, I guess it's a bit tight on the bust, but then I have got a padded bra on and I won't be wearing a bra in bed, so that's fine. Right, I think though that's perfect, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so now I have to take it off and try not to hurt myself with the pins. Okay, you've just seen me fit on myself, guys, for the first time. Oh, do any of you ever, when you're like at the end, or you're constantly trying to fit stuff on yourself, and you just get sick of taking your things on and off, your like dress or whatever? Sometimes I just sit in by the machine in my underwear and sew, or in my tights, because it's just like, this is just such a pain. I need to keep trying this on. Okay. So funny, Lisa. I'm not trying to be Lorianne. Sorry, I froze. I'm not trying to be Lorianne. Comedy value. Now, I feel like am we meant to do a really snazzy join here? I think we are. Or we're just going to do that. Really, you shouldn't do that with bias binding. But I do believe the instructions don't say that. Yeah, you have to. Yes. I'm glad we're all the same on that. Right, I'm just going to check and see what it says to join them. Pin together short edges that bias centre back stitch space. No, it doesn't. Okay. Well, we're not going to do a super snazzy join there. We're just going to keep it nice and simple then. So, like that. Oh, I didn't see what that you said there, Kim. Sorry, definitely nothing. Yeah, it's fine. I have to be careful in London though, because it's not so. I'm really just checking I haven't twisted anything there. No. You have to be careful in London because there's often, someone can see through your window. Okay, we're just going to join that with a centimetre seam allowance. How are we doing? We're doing all right for time. About 15 minutes left. Yeah, it's fine until you realise you're sitting by the window, exactly, Annetta, which you probably have moved closer to the window so you've got better eyesight. You can see things more clearly near the daylight, and then you're like, oh, oopsie daisies, I'm sat in my bra. Oh, some funny stories here about people sitting in their underwear whilst they're sewing. Oh, let's hope none of those horrible trolley types are watching. I guess we'd know by now, wouldn't we? It's all right, we've got Ninja Alex there, ready to be like, delete. Quite like that name, Alex. Ninja Alex. It's got a good ringtone to it. Should we get that on a t-shirt for you? Right, okay. So, I've now joined it, so it's like a big loop. So now what we need to do is pin, again, making sure we're not doing any twisting. We need to find our little notch that sits there, and we need to line that up. New nickname. And then we've got our centre back. Now I don't have a centre back notch there, so I'm just going to pop that in my centre back of my top, because I'm just creating that notch by taking those 2 points, folding it in half, and then like that. And then right side to wrong side. Right side of binding to the wrong side of the top. just to reiterate that, lining up the raw edges. Ow, I've just scratched myself. And then lining up that notch at the armhole, at the top of the armhole with that. Yeah. Now we can fill it in. So we're basically doing the same again. We're stitching it on. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Are you talking about this fabric or this fabric? This fabric is our Busy Blossom in navy, which we sell online. This fabric, unfortunately, you can't get anymore. That's coming out, that's annoying. So yeah, we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to sew the back, like we've just done the front neckline, and then we trim the front and the back seam allowances down, and then we close it all off and sew it in together. Oh yes, the navy, yeah. Well, you can get that from our website. I hope maybe Alex can whack up a little link to it. Sorry, Alex, giving you more work to do. Okay. Oh, yep. Alison, yes. The stretch cotton, yeah, we talked about that at the beginning. It should be up online at some point tomorrow, probably later on tomorrow, unless it's delayed, but they told me it should arrive tomorrow. So the moment it arrives, I'll whack it back up online and update the inventory. We're getting more of the royal leaves, the polka dot black, and also the lemons. I've pinched some of the lemons for myself because I really want to make some ultimates in that myself. I think it's fab. Alex was on it. Oh, Alex. She is. That is Alex all over. Always a couple of steps ahead of me. Ooh. Ninja. We're going to have to give Rosie a nickname as well, aren't we now, when she's back on next week. She's having a break this week because she's knee deep in copy shop printing, poor thing. So, yeah, Alex is taking the Sewalong reins this week. Ooh. So I'm just stitching in that first crease line as we did on the front. So that's now stitched, okay? So, question about fabrics on lockdown. I'm going to just trim this down whilst I'm talking about that. So I'm just trimming down the seam allowance of the front and of the front and the back. So, yes, fabrics. We are not going to go back to what we were doing because we did make a decision that that wasn't worth our while to be having loads and loads of fabrics on. Just didn't make sense for the business anymore. There's a lot of people out there doing that, and we just, yeah, felt that we should be focusing on other things that we do that no one else does. So, but however, one thing I've realized in doing these sew-alongs is that there were fabrics that we sold that I can still get hold of that are very specific to our patterns, such as the stretch cotton. And therefore make it a lot easier for our customers to make those patterns. And so what I'm doing now is I'm compiling a list of fabrics that I think are really good that, you know, you can't necessarily get anywhere else. So obviously you can get stretch cotton from anywhere else, but I don't know exactly how much stretch that has got. And this, I just know, I can vouch for it, that it makes up really well. And I like recommending it for that reason. So that's what we're thinking of, that we would have a small collection of fabrics that would be more sort of staple fabrics that are specific to our patterns. So not all of our patterns require that. So for example, the Betty dress doesn't require a certain type of cotton. Any cotton's fine. So we wouldn't do things, but for any of the ones, I thought, for example, we used to have a really good Roma Ponte that we could get in a few colours. And it's really good for Heather. It's really good for the Georgie dress, and both of which are very popular patterns of ours, and it's really good for things like the skirt that we did the other week. So I thought about, you know, there are things like that. So I've just got to spend some time going through our patterns and having a look and thinking, right, what really needs certain fabric. Like the Mia jeans, for example, it needs a certain amount of stretch in the denim, and I've got a really good denim supplier that we could have that. So it's just thinking through those things. Leave it with me, guys. Right, okay. So now I am going to press. I've forgotten what I was doing. I'm going to press that now, like we did with the armholes. I'm pressing the seam allowance towards the binding. Then. And then also on the fabric, sorry, just going on, in terms of like fabrics that are just lovely for lovely's sake, those will be our fabrics. So I talked about how I want to get some more of the this particular one back in the black, and maybe some other colours as well, that are like new colours, like jewel, stronger colours. I also want to do some more cardis in the colours that would maybe go with those. So if for getting kind of nice prints for print's sake, then it will be our own fabrics. But I can't give you a time frame on those because everything is up in the air at the moment. As we all know, it's very hard for anyone in any industry to know exactly when things will be ready. And I'm like one of those people that is being, I'm sure, very annoying to a lot of suppliers at the moment because I'm doing up my house and I really need things. Yes, the black busy blossom, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so basically, IKEA are no longer delivering. At one point they were delivering, but just not a 2-man delivery, and now they're not delivering. And so basically, we are in a pickle, or I'm in a pickle, because I'm gonna have my kitchen. So the kitchen in the house is fine. It's such a little kitchen, but I'm having the cupboards doors replaced. So it's an IKEA kitchen, but the doors are a bit seen better days. So I'm keeping the kind of carcass of the kitchen, but with new doors from IKEA, and I'm getting them sprayed as well. I'm getting them sprayed a light mint colour, and then I'm going to have a white quartz countertop. However, IKEA are now not delivering at all. So my guy that is doing my house, he actually is a kitchen fitter, and he used to be one of the official kind of third-party kitchen fitter for IKEA. So IKEA don't do it themselves. They don't go and fit your kitchens themselves, but they work with third-party companies. And he was that. I don't know if it was for all over the country or whether it was just for London. Anyway, so he literally knows IKEA kitchens inside out, which is really useful. But yeah, he's like, even with all his contacts at the moment, he can't get IKEA to say it will be fine from then. So that's going to really scupper my moving into my house plan. Because I need those doors, otherwise I can't put the worktop on, I can't put the hob back in, and therefore I won't have a kitchen. So I don't really want to be living back. I don't want to live there without that. I've got a bit of a problem here. It's like twisting and then being difficult. So I'm just trying to make it do what I want it to do. I don't know why it's doing that there. So yeah, we'll see. But you know, you've got to just learn I've got to just learn that things are just not going to happen in the viscose jerseys are hard to find. Okay, good. Yeah, what's going to happen you can't control time of anything at the moment, can you? So it's just, you just got to be like relaxed about it. At the end of the day, we've got a place here we can stay. So if I can't get back to London, I can't get back to London. But I will be putting out good vibes to IKEA to allow me to get those things. So yeah. I know it's frustrating when you can't be given an answer by a company about when things will be ready. Oh, waiting for a living room. Oh, viscose jersey. Oh, we're chatting about viscose jersey now. Is jersey made of viscose? But whereas cotton jersey is, I haven't got any cotton jersey here. Cotton jersey is quite stable and is suitable for kind of a tight fitting t-shirt like our Edie top or our Bilberry t-shirt. Viscose jersey is better for more of a loose fitting thing. So I like our Molly top or any other kind of jersey things with and drape. Basically drapey jersey. Drapey jersey. So I'm now, sorry guys, I've completely forgot to tell you what I'm doing. So I've got this, I've pinned that, and now I'm pinning this together, okay? So that I can sew the whole thing in one go. This is the plan. So I think we're gonna get this element finished, and then I'll just hem it myself off camera. And then once that elastic comes, I will be able to get a photo of me in them, and then you'll be able to see our summer pyjama set. And then I'll get started on my Libby set. Oof. Yeah, tops with cotton jersey are a bit tight. There's a lot more stretch and give in viscose jersey, but it does make it harder to work with. It's a nightmare to cut. I often find it sort of moves away from the paper. Although I'm sure you rotary cutter converts would say, well, actually with the rotary cutter it's not so bad at all because it doesn't lift off the table. Okay, Pintastic. It's like an army of pins now. I'm going to put on my new snazzy wazzy of this. Can you just remind me of what the Sewalong schedule is next week? Yes, next week we are starting with, so what we're doing on Monday, we're doing customising t-shirts for kids, and then we're doing the Hebden t-shirt, which is one of our patterns that is, we've got size for men or women, and then we're doing the Eve dress on the Tuesday and Wednesday, which is our big project. Whoops. Okay, so I need to move this over. And away we go. Well, that's... Oh, I love this foot. It's just getting a bit... It's not why, for some reason, on the back here, the bias binding is twisting a little bit, but I'm forcing it back into submission. Out. You will not twist out of shape, mister. Something to keep things flat. I don't want it to create that dragging effect. I don't know why it's basically twisted and moved along. Anyway, you can press some of that out, but if it's done it too much, you can't. So. Oh, I tell you guys, it's not intended, because I certainly wasn't going to pattern match this, but the pattern matches of that bias binding at that point in the fabric. I'll show you afterwards, it's almost perfect. Okay, so now I'm on to the strap, and there's nothing else but strap, but the edge stitch foot is still doing its magic. Helping it feed through as well. Oi. Still seem to have misplaced my magnetic pin dish. I don't know where that bad boy's gone. Jasmine has got such an eye for really small things, and she's like, "Oh, mummy, here's a pin." Oops, it's on the floor. It could have been in your foot. At home, I'm a lot more careful, but here it's been a bit chaotic. Not very good. have done a video on my setting up of a business. There is a link to it. There's not a link to it. It's on the Sew Over It channel. I did a video ages ago. I think it's... No! Oh my gosh, phew. I ran out of bobbin, but only right at the end. Woo! Oh dear, let's quickly just pop that bobbin on, because otherwise I'll forget that I haven't stitched that bit. Oh, there's navy on there already, is there? Yeah. It's just snapped. So yes, I have actually done that already. It's quite a long one, it's about 45 minutes long, but it's a good one for you to hear all about how I set it all up. Ooh, I've also, if you want to hear about me talk about the business, on the I was interviewed on the Love to Sew podcast, and I talk all about it on that as well. Right, just overlapping where I was, doing one little back stitch and then carrying on. Okay, so snippy snip snip there and there. Just neaten all these loosey end threads off. Okay. Turn it the right way around, guys. Let's have a look. Da-da! Oh, it's that way around. There we go. That's the straps there. You can see because of that wonderful edge foot, we have got a lovely and neat hedge stitching. Woohoo! So you can, oh, Alex has popped a link up to it. Thank you, Alex. There it is. So the top, I just need to hem that and then I'll have my summer pajamas made. Yay! Oh, well, that was fun, guys, and very satisfying doing that bias binding. Not stressful at all. So I won't be here now until Monday. I'm going to be focusing on, like I said, doing that scrubs video. So I will put that up once I've finished that. And I'll be focusing on sewing a Eve dress and doing a few other bits of work stuff. I'm also going to be doing some video content for, thank you, Lorianne. Also doing some video content for Lisa Comfort Home. I'll be doing my tea and chat though on Sunday at 2 o'clock. If you want to enjoy that, join me for that. And tonight I'll be doing the live Instagram at 10 o'clock UK time. So I'm sorry that I won't be here on Thursday and Friday, guys. I know you've all enjoyed it, but for me it was just getting a bit unsustainable and I was exhausted and I needed to make sure that I didn't burn out before, you know, better that I'm not here a couple of days than get ill and not be here at all. So have lovely weekends. And I'll hopefully see some of you on Instagram over either tonight or on Sunday. And I'll see you on Monday. Bye!